Something big is stirring in the currency world, and it's got every dinar and dong holder talking. Across social media, online forums, and investor chats, people are buzzing about what's really happening with the rates in 2025. Is the long-awaited revaluation finally coming, or are we seeing just another wave of rumors? Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know, the latest updates, the real reactions from holders, and what these changes could mean for your future decisions. Whether you've been holding these currencies for years or you just started learning about them, stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer picture of what's real, what's speculation, and what's next for both the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong. Let's start with what everyone's asking: have the rates really moved? Over the past few weeks, different websites and currency groups have been sharing numbers that claim to show changes in value. Some say the Iraqi dinar has seen quiet shifts against the US dollar. Others point to new developments in Vietnam's economy that might influence the dong. But before anyone gets too excited or too worried, it's important to remember official exchange rates come from the country's central banks, not from social media or rumor pages. So far in 2025, the Central Bank of Iraq continues to maintain its current monetary policy, focusing on slow but steady economic reforms rather than sudden changes. Now, that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Iraq's economy has been working on some serious improvements behind the scenes. The government has been pushing to diversify beyond oil, building up technology infrastructure, improving banking systems, and strengthening international relationships. These are positive and real developments that can create a stronger foundation for future growth. But, as most economists will tell you, real value change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, policy coordination, and especially for a country still managing internal reforms and rebuilding trust in its financial system. Over in Vietnam, a similar story is unfolding. The State Bank of Vietnam has stayed consistent in 2025, keeping its focus on economic balance. The country's manufacturing and export sectors remain strong, especially as Vietnam continues to attract foreign investors looking for stable and cost-effective markets. These moves have supported the Vietnamese dong and strengthened Vietnam's global trade reputation. But again, officials there seem more focused on stability than surprise. Their main goal has been long-term growth, not sudden rate jumps that could shake confidence or create financial turbulence. So, what are actual currency holders saying? That's where things get really interesting. In online discussion boards and private Telegram groups, opinions are divided. Some long-term dinar and dong investors are cautiously optimistic. They see progress, reforms, and new projects in both countries as signs of eventual value growth. Others, however, express frustration. They've been waiting for years, holding on to the hope of a major revaluation, and every new rumor feels like a repeat of the last. This emotional roller coaster has become a familiar part of the community. Excitement when new headlines appear, followed by disappointment when nothing official changes. One of the most talked about points in Iraq right now is the difference between local street rates and official bank rates. Many holders have noticed that when they exchange currency locally, the rate often doesn't match what's shown internationally. This difference has led to debates: which number really reflects the true value of the dinar? Some say the street rate shows real demand, while others argue that the official rate is the only one that counts. Either way, it shows just how much interest and speculation this topic continues to generate among everyday holders. In Vietnam, conversations are centered around trade partnerships. Many investors are watching how Vietnam continues to strengthen relationships with major economies like the United States, China, and the European Union. These trade deals and manufacturing contracts could, in the long term, support the value of the dong. Vietnam's growing role in the global supply chain, especially in electronics and textiles, gives it strong economic momentum. Still, experts warn that while trade growth helps, currency values depend on multiple factors like inflation, reserves, and domestic financial health, not just exports. Let's talk about the emotional side for a moment. Many dinar and dong holders describe this experience as a mix of hope and patience. Some have been waiting for a decade or more, holding on to belief that one day their investment will pay off big. Others approach it more as a long-term hobby or hedge against uncertainty. What's clear is that the community remains active and passionate. There's constant sharing of articles, charts, and personal theories. And while not all of it is accurate, it shows just how invested people are, both financially and emotionally, in this story. But here's the key point: official monetary policy doesn't move based on community excitement. Central banks base their decisions on economic performance, inflation control, foreign exchange reserves, and political stability. Iraq and Vietnam are both focused on these fundamentals in 2025. Iraq continues to rebuild trust in its banking sector and manage regional security issues. Vietnam, on the other hand, is carefully managing inflation while trying to maintain its rapid industrial growth. These efforts are serious and necessary, but they take time, and that's what many casual investors overlook when expecting overnight change. It's also important to understand the difference between rate fluctuations and a revaluation. Every currency around the world moves slightly day by day. That's normal. But a revaluation, or RV as many call it, is a structured government decision to officially raise the currency's value in the global market. These don't happen often and usually come after deep reforms. For the dinar and dong, such a move would only happen as part of a much larger economic and policy shift, not because of short-term online chatter or rumors about secret rate updates. What's especially interesting in 2025 is how divided the community has become. Long-term holders who've been in the game for years remain cautiously optimistic. They've seen ups and downs, false alarms, and countless predictions that never came true. Yet they're still watching patiently because they believe in the long-term potential of these economies. On the other hand, newer investors, those who entered the market recently, are more curious than confident. They're learning the ropes, asking practical questions about storage, authentication, and exchange procedures. This shows that while speculation is high, education is growing too. People are beginning to understand that patience and knowledge are far more valuable than impulsive excitement. Many holders are also asking practical questions in 2025, and that's a good sign. People are learning how to safely store their currencies, verify authenticity, and prepare proper documentation. Safe deposit boxes at banks remain the best choice for physical currency, while some prefer home safes with fireproof protection. Others keep their holdings split across locations for security reasons. When it comes to verification, UV lights, official reference guides help spot real versus counterfeit notes, and that knowledge is becoming more common among serious holders. Documentation is another key area that smart investors focus on. Keeping records of where and when currency was purchased, including receipts and amounts, can make future exchanges smoother and more transparent. It also helps with any potential tax or reporting requirements. Some holders even keep digital copies stored securely online in encrypted folders. These small but practical steps show how the community is becoming more informed and professional, even as they continue waiting for potential rate changes in the future. Another big topic in 2025 is the spread of misinformation. Many people online claim to have inside sources or exclusive news about upcoming revaluations. However, official rate decisions are made only by government institutions, not by private dealers or chatroom insiders. Dealers sell currency at the current market rate, plus their business markup. They don't have secret information about policy changes. Understanding this difference can help investors avoid being misled or taken advantage of by false promises and hype-driven content. There is also a lot of confusion about the role of global institutions. Some believe that the IMF or World Bank controls or approves rate changes. The truth is that while these organizations provide guidance and technical support, each country has full authority over its own currency. Iraq's central bank and Vietnam's state bank make their own independent decisions based on national priorities. That independence is a good thing, It means changes happen when they make real economic sense, not just when investors want them to. Financial experts analyzing both currencies in 2025 continue to see long-term potential but emphasize patience. Iraq's ongoing infrastructure and banking reforms could strengthen its currency over time, while Vietnam's industrial expansion gives it global credibility. However, analysts consistently remind investors that potential does not mean immediate. Currency markets are complex, and even professionals with advanced tools can't predict exact movements. That's why most financial advisors suggest viewing these holdings as long-term speculative positions, not short-term profit plays. For anyone serious about staying informed, education remains the strongest tool. Learning the basics of how foreign exchange markets work, what drives supply and demand, how inflation affects currency value, and why governments adjust rates can make a huge difference. The more you know, the easier it becomes to separate hype from fact. Reputable financial news sources, online courses, and even government economic reports are better places to study than rumor-based groups. Smart hodlers are trading time into learning time. Looking at the big picture, global currency trends in 2025 are shifting too. The US dollar, euro, and yen continue to influence how smaller currencies behave. Inflation, global trade routes, and digital payment technologies are changing how nations manage their money. Iraq and Vietnam are both trying to position themselves wisely within this global shift. Iraq by improving transparency, and Vietnam by deepening its export networks. These long-term strategies matter more to the future of their currencies than any single week's rumor. So, what does all this mean for you, the dinar or dong holder, in 2025? It means patience, preparation, and perspective. The progress being made in both Iraq and Vietnam is real, but rate changes take time, stability, and economic maturity. The smartest thing you can do is stay informed, stay safe, and stay realistic. Don't chase every rumor, focus on verified information. Whether you're holding for hope or studying for the future, remember, informed investors always do better than impulsive ones. Thanks for watching today's update. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to stay connected to all the latest dinar and dong developments throughout 2025. Your journey as an investor doesn't stop here. It's only just beginning.